I didn't know I was waiting until something in me relaxed. Not into you, but into myself. As if your presence gave me permission to exist fully. You were never holding me together. I was holding on to something that had already released me. I didn't feel abandoned. I felt return to the version of myself that had always existed beneath attachment. You didn't leave emptiness. You left awareness that I had always been enough. You were never incomplete on your own. Now when I stand in silence, I knew it had changed, not in the way you spoke, in the way I stopped waiting for you to say anything at all. You used to live inside my attention, inside every quiet moment of uncertainty. I leaned into your presence without hesitation, without questioning its permanence. I thought stability came from you. I thought certainty lived in your closeness. I didn't realize certainty had always lived inside me.
I saw you becoming steady without needing anything from me. And steadiness revealed the truth. You were never holding me together. I was holding on to something that had already released me. I didn't feel loss. I felt separation.
Separation from illusion.
Separation from dependency.
Separation from the version of me
that needed something outside myself. You didn't disappear. You became irrelevant to who I was becoming.
You were never incomplete on your own. It belongs entirely to me, not shaped by memory, not shaped by expectation, not shaped by you.
You were part of my past, but I am no longer shaped by what has already ended.
There was a moment before the sound returned, where everything paused and I almost disappeared. Not in fear, not in pain, just unheld. Your shadow stayed longer than you did, resting on the edge of my skin, like it knew I would notice, like it knew I would stay still. I didn't move, I didn't breathe too deep. I was afraid the air itself would take you with it, and silence became something alive.
I never meant to be permanent, I was only passing through. But something in your stillness made time hesitate. I saw the way you carried absence, like it was sacred, like it had weight. Only you understood, I didn't want to break it, so I stayed between seconds.
You were never loud, but you space where nothing moves. It wasn't sound, it was recognition.
You didn't arrive like the others. No sudden shift, no broken air.
Just a quiet rearranging of everything I thought was stable.
My hands didn't reach for you.
They waited
As if they already knew.
your way. I stayed where I was invisible, not hiding, just undefined.
You never asked me to become something.
You only allowed me to exist, and that was enough to keep me there. Don't name this, it will lose its shape. Don't hold this, it will learn to escape. Just let it move through skin and breath, where nothing begins and nothing ends. I'm not leaving, I'm not staying, I'm just here. There were nights I felt you in the silence, not beside me, but within reach. Like warmth left behind in an empty room, not gone, just no longer visible.
I never needed distance to disappear. I existed in the pause between your thoughts in the moment before you turned away.
I was still there. If you forget my voice, remember the feeling. If you forget my face, remember the stillness. Because I was never something you saw, I was something you became,
And you were never alone.
some things don't end. I sat needing form. I sat needing form. I sat needing form. I didn't notice when it started. There was no moment to mark, just a softness replacing the noise. Like the world You never asked for space, you created it without touching anything, and suddenly I could hear myself again. Not the version shaped by survival, but the one that existed before the leaving, before the closing, before I learned to disappear first.
I saw you holding tension, like it was part of your design, like release was something forbidden. I didn't try to fix it, I didn't try to move it, I just stayed near enough for your walls to question themselves. Don't promise tomorrow, stay inside this breath. Don't give me forever, give me what hasn't ended yet. Because forever was never safe, but this moment is. I'm not time, I'm not lost, I'm only present. I stopped searching for permanence when I realized nothing on it ever asked for it. You were never something I could keep, but you were something I could feel without fear, and that changed everything. You didn't need to hold me for me to remain. I existed in your openness, not your grip, and in that freedom I stayed longer than expected. If this fades, let it fade gently, without breaking its meaning. If this ends, let it end complete, without losing its truth. Nothing real disappeared, it only transformed. You were never mine, and that's why you were real. There was a version of me that never met you. She was quieter but heavier. She didn't know how like silence could feel. not the answer. I'm the space beside you.
I stopped measuring time when I was with you, because nothing was passing, nothing was leaving, everything was simply existing.
And for the first time, I didn't need more. You never held me tightly, but you never pushed me away. And in that balance, I found something rare, a place without expectation, without end.
If you lose me, you'll still feel me in the quiet parts of yourself. If you forget me, you'll still know me in ways words never help.
I was never separate from you.
Some presents don't stay, they become part of who you are forever, without remaining. I remember the exact second everything stopped resisting, not outside, but inside me, like something finally understood. It didn't need to be afraid anymore. like something stopped holding me together, and I didn't fall apart. You never said you'd stay, and that's why I trusted you. There was no promise to break, no illusion to protect, just presence, honest and unclaimed. I could breathe beside you without becoming smaller.
You never asked me who I was. You let me remain undefined, and in that freedom I became more real. Not louder, not closer, just clearer.
Don't reach for me, I'm already here. Not in your hands, but in what you feel. Don't hold this moment, it will stay on its own.
Room was never passing through. I was always part of you. I stopped fearing the end when I realized nothing true ever leaves. It only changes how it lives inside you. You didn't remain beside me.
You remained within me.
You never lost me.
You only stopped looking outside yourself. And when you understood that I was everywhere, if you close your eyes, you'll still find me. Not as memory, but as presence.
I never needed to stay, to never leave.
Some connections don't survive, they transform. Into who you become. I felt it before, I understood it. A shift without movement, like something inside me. Stop waiting. separate. I stopped needing answers when I felt the certainty, not in words but in stillness. You didn't stay in my life, you stayed in my awareness, and that was enough.
You were never meant to keep me, only to recognize me for a moment that never really ended.
If time erases the shade, it won't erase the meaning. If distance removes the form, it won't remove the truth. I was always here.
Some things don't belong to time.
They belong to who you become. It didn't begin with a touch. It began with a quiet recognition, like something in me finally stopped searching. You stood inside my silence without disturbing it.
Not asking to be known, not asking to remain.
And for the first time,
I didn't need to protect myself.
I just existed.
I never came to stay forever. I came to exist honestly,
Without ownership,
without expectation.
and you met me there.
Without fear.
Don't turn this into memory.
Let it remain alive.
Don't hold it too tightly.
It was never meant to survive that way.
Let it breathe.
Let it remain
Free. I never belonged to time.
that's where I remain.
If silence carries my voice,
Listen with a fear.
if darkness carries my shame,
Know that I'm still near.
nothing real disappears. You didn't leave.
You became part of my existence. It didn't begin with a touch. It began with a quiet recognition. It didn't begin. It didn't believe. It didn't leave until then. True. It didn't begin with a touch. It didn't begin with a touch. It didn't begin with a touch. It didn't leave.
stopped asking you to stay. When I realized you never left, not in the way loss happens. You transformed into something permanent inside me.
You don't need to remember me. You only need to exist honestly. That's where I remain.
If silence becomes my voice, listen without fear. If absence becomes my form, know that I am still here.
Nothing real disappears.
You didn't leave my life. You became part of who I am. I thought I would recognize the moment when everything changed, but it didn't arrive loudly. It arrived like relief. You didn't ask for my attention. You existed without needing it. And somehow it drew me closer, not to you, to the part of myself I had abandoned. I could breathe there.
I never came to stay forever. I came to exist honestly.
Without holding you, without leaving you, just present, without condition. And you understood that without words.
stopped looking outside yourself. I was always there.